Hey guys, back with more nails. I'm doing a coffin shape this time. I haven't done this since college. I used to love this shape. Has been my favorite recently, but I wanted to get back to my roots. I think the shape is like super cunty, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a little bit cunty, but also like, I don't know, the word modest comes to mind. I don't know. So I'm gonna attach some photos of some bathing suits that I had in mind when I was doing this set. I just really love the cut of those old swimsuits, and I was heavily inspired by that. Here I'm doing a side-by-side of the difference between the base coat and just nothing on my nails. This is a very, very sheer pink. I love a pink base coat. I don't really go for nudes when I do French tips of any color. Even though I'm doing a red French tip, I still want a pink base. So I'm going with this CANNI color. So I don't know if it's CANNI or CANNI or CANNI, no clue. All I know is that it's HEMA free, which is awesome. I'm also adding a little more of this dark red. It's like a jelly red because I want it to be more red. That initial color was a little bit too orange for me. One thing you may have noticed about me is I have pretty long nail beds. I am blessed to have never been cursed with the nail biting habit. My nails grow very long, and I've never had an issue with like picking them and making my nail bed shorter and shorter and shorter. My nail beds have always been very long. And on that note, I always felt like French tips looked a little awkward on me. Like on other girlies, they hit so hard, but on me, I just felt like something was missing. And I think I found out what it is. When I was doing this French tip, I tried to make the tip pretty long, and I made the bottom of the tip come below my nail bed. You can kind of see it here, but it's definitely more showcased in the next nail that I do. I make the bottom line past my natural nail bed, and so that shortens the look of my nail bed. It makes the nail bed look shorter, and it makes the tips look longer. It makes the whole nail look longer. And I didn't do this because I thought it would make my nails look better. I did it because I was inspired by those classic swimsuits. But oh my god, this suits me so well. There you go. I'm going really far past my natural nail bed line. That crybaby is once again a fan. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it. He's definitely been in all of my voiceovers at this point. But I have two cats. One of them is just a baby. He just turned 1. He's an orange cat. I named him a Fian, and he is the one crying in all of my videos. So my bad if you hear him. It just cannot be helped. So on this ring finger, I wanted to do something special. Of course, I love to do something special with my ring fingers. I had no idea what I was doing at this point, but when I was just sculpting out the, bottom curve of the French tip, I was just like, you know what, let me just double it and give it to the next person. I just kept the curve, making it a rounded false tip. I have no idea what you would call it. You see it, you know what it is. At this point with the pinky, I've kind of got the hang of it. I do find French tips to be difficult. Highly recommend using a tiny little skinny brush like I'm using here, and just giving yourself some grace, practicing a lot. There's definitely going to be some messes along the way, but you can always clean up your mistakes before curing. So this is what that hand looks like now. I'm going in with some sculpting builder gel. You guys have seen me do this a billion times at this point. I love to sculpt. That silicone tip that I'm using, that is primarily what I use to sculpt everything. I love it. And also recently I've been using it to clean up messes before I cure. So it actually helped a lot with these French tips. I didn't get any clips of me cleaning it, I'm so sorry. But I highly recommend having some sort of silicone tips tool in your nail bag. Right now I'm sculpting the petals, my favorite part. I like sculpting 3D sculptures because it adds a lot of dimension to the nail, obviously. It's visually appealing, and I promise it's actually not that hard to do. As you can see, I'm just pushing the putty around like it's clay. I'm just using my silicone tip to shape these leaves. What kind of flower am I doing? No clue. I don't know if this flower is a flower that exists in the real human world, but it's cool, it looks nice, and that's all that really matters. Right now, I'm trying to pull up what I've sculpted. I wanted the tips to stick up instead of be flush with my nail bed. I've seen a lot of 3D flowers on Instagram that are like separate from the nail, like not completely flush all the way through. I could have lifted the tips a little more, but I didn't want it to like poke out. I was going to be wearing these nails every single day for 2 weeks at least. I think I mentioned it earlier. I didn't end up liking the red as it was. I wanted it to be a little darker, so I added a darker coat on top of all the nails. On this ring finger, I mixed that same red with some top coat because I wanted it to be even more diluted, even more sheer, and I was going to put the color on my entire nail, as you can see there. I added some black lines to further create some dimension. Also, as you can see, I have some black beads waiting on the side there, tiny little things that I put on top. And that finishes up the hand. This is what it looks like. Love the deep red color, love the deep French tip, love the flower. I really love this set. Of course, I still have my other hand to do off camera. And this is how it all came out. I did lips on the other the other ring finger. I've done lips a few times at this point. Those are not my favorite lips, but I'm allergic to doing the same thing on both hands. This set was so much fun to do and even more fun to wear. I got a lot of compliments and I'm just really happy with how it came out. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Bye!